Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive on emotional intelligence.
Sounds fascinating.
It is, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to be checking out some interesting bits from Daniel Goleman's book, Emotional Intelligence. It's an audiobook, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll be looking at how our feelings, play into the decisions we make and how we act. What do you think?
Oh, I'm all for it. I mean, it's like we have two minds duking it out sometimes, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's the rational one weighing the pros and cons, and then bam,
Right.
the emotional one jumps in, just reacting on instinct.
It's true. Sometimes they work together, all smooth.
Yeah.
But then other times, it's like our emotions hijack our logic completely.
Oh, totally.
Goldman, he tells this story, right, about a friend going through a divorce.
Mm.
She's like, oh, I'm fine. Indifferent.
Mm.
But her eyes welling up with tears.
Wow.
It's like her emotions are totally contradicting like what she's trying to say.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that? Like you think you're in control, but then your feelings just take over?
All the time. It's like our feelings have this hidden power, They can really influence us even when we don't realize it.
That's so true. And Goldman, he has this other story, a really sad one, about a guy named Bobby Crabtree. He accidentally shot his daughter.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was a tragic accident. She startled him, and he just reacted out of pure fear.
That's heartbreaking.
It is. And it shows how powerful, how primal these emotions can be. Fear especially. It can just completely overwhelm us.
Absolutely. Like in that moment, logic just goes out the window.
It's gone. So then, to really get into this, Goldman dives deep into the brain.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Specifically, this little part called the amygdala.
The amygdala.
Yeah. Have you heard of it?
Vaguely.
It's tiny, shaped like an almond, but it's like the command center for emotions. It processes feelings before our rational brain even gets a chance to, like, catch up.
So it's like we react emotionally first and then think about it later.
Exactly. Imagine you're walking down a dark street,
Right.
right? And suddenly you hear a noise. Bang. Right. Your heart starts racing, you jump back. That's your amygdala kicking in.
Like fight or flight mode.
Totally. Later, you might realize it was just a cat or something.
Right.
But in that moment,
Right.
pure emotion. Goldman actually tells another story about a friend who jumped into a canal to save a drowning kid. No hesitation.
Wow.
Just pure instinct. The amygdala taking over.
That's amazing.
It is. But luckily, our brains have a kind of damper switch, too.
Oh, what's that?
The prefrontal cortex.
Yeah.
It helps to regulate, to like calm down those intense emotional surges so we can think before we act. Ever feel like you're about to explode with anger?
Oh, yeah.
Or super anxious?
Definitely.
That's your prefrontal cortex working overtime, trying to keep everything in check.
Huh. So it's not about like getting rid of emotions completely. It's more about finding that balance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that brings us to emotional intelligence, or EQ.
Okay, EQ.
Yeah. Goldman says EQ is just as important as IQ, maybe even more so for, success in life.
Interesting. So like book smarts versus street smarts.
Kind of, yeah. He talks about studies with Harvard grads,
Oh, wow.
high IQs, right?
Yeah.
But that didn't automatically equal happiness or, like, fulfillment.
Really? So what was the difference?
The ones who could understand and manage their emotions and understand other people's emotions, they were the ones who really thrived.
That makes sense. It's like being able to navigate the world of feelings, not just the world of facts.
Exactly. And there's this cool story about a 4-year-old named Judy.
Jeez.
Yeah, she aced this classroom game. Not about being smart in the, traditional way.
Right.
It was about social intelligence. Could she wait her turn, understand the rules, cooperate? And Judy, she nailed it.
Wow. So even at 4 years old, you can see those emotional intelligence skills shining new.
Totally. Makes you wonder, why don't we teach this stuff more? Along with math and reading,
I know, right? Seems so fundamental.
It is. And Goldman breaks it down into 5 parts. Knowing your own emotions, managing them, motivating yourself, recognizing emotions in others, and handling relationships.
5 key areas, and I guess they all kind of intertwine.
They do, yeah. It's all about understanding those nuances of how we interact with each other.
It's like the human connection piece.
It is, yeah. And Goldman, he offers some tips on how to manage the emotions that trip us up the most.
Which ones are those?
Anger, worry, and sadness. Those are the biggies.
Makes sense. We've all been there.
For anger, he says venting doesn't always help. Sometimes it even makes things worse.
Oh, really? I thought letting it all out was supposed to be good.
Yeah, that's a common belief. But he says it can actually backfire, makes you more agitated. Instead, he suggests Trying to see things from a different angle, like reframing the situation or taking some time to cool off before reacting.
So, like, don't hit send on that angry email right away.
Exactly. Sometimes you just need to step away,
Yeah.
let things settle.
Yeah, I can see that.
He even tells a story about a teenager who learned to manage his anger by taking walks in nature.
That's a good one. Nature can be so calming, can it?
Oh, absolutely. Just getting away from all the chaos. Yeah.
Now, worry, that's another tough one. It's normal to worry sometimes, but when it becomes chronic, debilitating,
Right.
it can take over your life.
It's like your mind gets stuck in a loop.
It does. And Goleman, he talks about research by a guy named Thomas Borkovec.
Oh?
Borkovec says the first step is to become aware of your worry patterns. You got to notice those thoughts.
Become aware.
Yeah, and then you can start challenging them. Ask yourself, is this worry even based on anything real?
Right, right.
Or am I just catastrophizing?
Yeah, that's a good point. Sometimes we make mountains out of molehills.
We do. Borkovec also suggests, like, actually doing something to address the worry. If you're nervous about a presentation, practice it. Prepare. Taking action can really help.
So don't just stew in the worry.
No. Do something about it.
Makes sense. So we've talked about the power of emotions, how they can sometimes hijack our thinking, and the importance of this emotional intelligence thing. But there's more. Next time, we'll dig deeper into self-awareness and those practical strategies for managing all sorts of emotions.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
So we're back, diving deeper into emotional intelligence. Last time, we got to those emotional hijackings and the prefrontal cortex as like a calming influence. Oh, and the 5 domains of EQ.
Right. And now let's zoom in on self-awareness. That's like the cornerstone of it all.
Okay, self-awareness.
Yeah, Goleman, he uses this term alexithymia.
Lexi, what?
Alexithymia. It's when people have trouble, like, identifying and expressing their emotions. They're kind of emotionally disconnected from themselves.
Oh, wow. Like they don't even know what they're feeling.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
He gives this example of Gary, this brilliant surgeon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Super successful, but he couldn't connect with his fiancée, Ellen, on an emotional level because of this alexithymia.
So even though he was successful in his career, his lack of self-awareness was messing up his personal life.
Exactly. It just shows how important self-awareness is, not just for ourselves, but for our relationships, too.
Yeah. If you can't tune into your own emotions, how can you understand someone else's?
Right. And Goleman points out that there are different ways people pay attention to their emotions.
Okay.
Some folks are super self-aware, you know. They can label their feelings easily.
Like, oh, I'm feeling anxious right now.
Exactly. While others might be more reactive, easily overwhelmed by their emotions.
And then some people are just accepting of their emotions.
Yeah, they just acknowledge them without judgment. It's really interesting how different we all are in that way.
It is. Goleman also talks about this guy, Elliot.
Elliot.
Yeah, he had surgery to remove a brain tumor. His personality totally changed.
What?
His cognitive skills, like his thinking, that was all fine. But he lost the ability to connect with his emotions.
Oh, wow. So even though he could think clearly, he couldn't feel.
It was like he was missing this crucial piece of himself.
That's got to be tough.
It was. Even simple decisions became a struggle.
Like what?
Like what to eat, what to wear.
Really?
He couldn't access those gut feelings that guide us.
Huh. So our emotions are actually giving us information.
They are.
Yeah.
But if we're not aware of them, we're missing out on those insights. And Goleman, he makes it clear, managing emotions doesn't mean suppressing them.
Okay.
It's about finding that balance.
Right.
He says that if emotions are too muted, you can feel kind of empty, uninspired. But when they're too intense,
Yeah.
they overwhelm you.
Like that driver who gets cut off in traffic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In that split second, the amygdala goes off.
Anger.
But it's how you respond that matters. Do you let it escalate into road rage?
Uh-oh.
Or do you find a way to calm down?
Breathe.
Goleman suggests reframing your perspective. Maybe the other driver is having a bad day. Or just reminding yourself, it's not worth risking your safety.
It's true. It's just not worth it.
And he challenges that idea that venting anger is always good.
Oh, really? I thought that was the whole point of punching bags and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people think that. But he presents evidence that venting can actually make you more angry.
Huh. So what's the alternative?
Take a time out, cool down, maybe exercise to burn off that energy, or try some relaxation techniques. Find what works for you.
Yeah, find your own strategy.
Exactly. Now, worry, that mental loop that can keep you stuck in anxiety, Goleman says chronic worry can turn into full-blown anxiety disorders.
Yeah, it can spiral out of control.
He brings up Barkovec again, that researcher. Barkovec says self-awareness is key. Notice those thoughts, those worries,
Become aware of the pattern.
and then challenge them.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, is this worry based on facts or just my imagination running wild?
It's a good question to ask.
And then maybe try to actually do something about it, if you can.
Right. Be proactive.
Like if you're worried about a presentation, practice, prepare. Taking action can often reduce that worry.
Yeah.
And if it gets to be too much, if it's really interfering with your life,
Yeah.
maybe talk to a doctor. Medication might be an option.
It's good to have those resources.
It is. Now let's switch gears. Sadness. We often try to avoid it, right?
Yeah, it's not exactly fun.
But Goleman says even melancholy has its purpose.
Really?
It lets us process loss, reflect, connect with our deeper emotions. It's a natural part of being human.
Okay, I can see that.
He acknowledges that major depression is serious, but he focuses on those everyday sad moments. And he suggests ways to lift your mood,
Like what?
starting with socializing,
Hmm.
connecting with people, sharing your feelings, doing things you enjoy. It can help shift you out of that low mood.
So reach out to people. Don't isolate yourself.
Exactly. And challenge those negative thoughts that keep you stuck in sadness. Ask yourself, is this thought even helpful?
Right.
Is it true or just my perception?
Yeah, sometimes our thoughts aren't even accurate.
And even if you don't feel like it, schedule some enjoyable activities. Just going through the motions can sometimes jumpstart your mood.
Fake it till you make it.
Kinda.
Yeah.
And remember those small victories.
Oh, yeah, like checking things off your to-do list.
Even little things can boost your self-esteem, make you feel more capable.
It's true. Those little wins can really add up.
And don't underestimate the power of helping others. Focusing on someone else's needs can shift your attention away from your own problems.
It's like take the focus off yourself and do something for someone else.
Exactly. And for those who find comfort in spirituality,
Yeah.
connecting with something bigger than yourself, practicing mindfulness, that can be really grounding.
I can see that. Like finding peace and strength from within.
So we've explored managing some tough emotions. Next time, we'll get into those positive ones. Motivation, hope, flow. It's going to be good.
Sounds great. I'm ready.
And we're back for the final part of our emotional intelligence deep dive.
It's been quite a journey.
It has.
Yeah.
We've talked about self-awareness, how our emotions and logic kind of battle it out, and ways to deal with anger, worry, sadness.
Right.
But now, let's shift gears
Okay.
to empathy.
Empathy. Goleman calls it the fundamental people skill.
Right. He does, yeah. It's about understanding and responding to how other people are feeling.
Like building a bridge.
Exactly, a bridge of connection, compassion.
And, we touched on this before, but it seems like empathy is kind of hardwired into us.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Goleman gives those examples, remember. Baby Hope crying when another baby falls, and little Michael offering his teddy bear to a friend who's upset.
Oh, yeah. Even toddlers, they get it.
On some level, they do. And Goleman talks about attunement being crucial for that to develop. By all those little moments between the parent and child,
Mm-hmm.
the parent sees how the child's feeling and responds to it. And that shapes how we connect with others later on as adults.
Wow. So those early interactions, they're like setting the stage for all our relationships.
It's pretty powerful, isn't it? And Goleman links empathy to morality, too.
Morality.
Yeah. He mentions this empathy researcher, Martin Hoffman. Hoffman says empathy is the basis of how we develop morally.
Okay.
Like when we empathize with someone who's hurting, we feel their pain, too, right?
I do. Yeah.
And that shared experience makes us want to help.
It's like we're motivated to act compassionately.
Yeah.
Because we understand how they feel.
Exactly. And Hoffman, he describes this progression of empathy. Starts in babies with that contagious crying.
Right? One baby cries, they all cry.
Then, as kids grow up, they start to understand that other people have feelings, and those feelings can be different from their own.
That's a big step.
It is. And eventually, they can grasp the idea of like widespread suffering.
Yeah.
Empathize with whole groups of people who are going through tough times.
So empathy can actually inspire people to make a difference in the world.
It can. But Goleman also points out the flip side, the lack of empathy. He says it's a common thread in people who do terrible things.
Oh, like criminals.
Yeah. Rapists, child abusers, people who commit violence.
That's scary.
It is. He talks about how they seem to lack that ability to feel the victim's pain.
So it's like they can justify what they're doing.
It's a disturbing thought, isn't it? And to show how all these pieces of emotional intelligence fit together, Goleman tells this story about two little brothers,
Okay.
Len and Jay. Len's 5,
Okay.
and he bites his little brother Jay.
Ouch.
Jay starts crying. Right. Their mom scolds Len but doesn't comfort him.
Oh, so Len's feeling even worse.
Yeah, classic misattunement like
Yeah.
we talked about. But then, get this, Jay, the one who got bitten, he becomes this amazing empathizer.
Really?
He tries everything to make Len feel better, pleading with him, getting their mom, offering comfort, distracting him. It's incredible.
Wow, for a little kid, that's amazing.
He just instinctively knows what Len needs. It's a perfect example of all those EQ domains working together.
So Jay being able to handle his brother's emotions, that's because of his own self-awareness, his empathy.
It's beautiful. So as we wrap up this deep dive into emotional intelligence, what are some key takeaways? What have we learned from Goleman?
Well, I think the biggest one is self-awareness, right?
Yeah.
Paying attention to your own emotions, learning to identify them.
Like really tuning into how you're feeling.
Yeah, that's the foundation.
And from there, you can start managing those emotions.
Exactly. And remember, all emotions serve a purpose. It's about finding that balance.
So they don't control you. Yeah.
Try those techniques we talked about. Reframing, taking a break, doing things you enjoy.
And maybe most importantly, nurturing empathy. Really trying to see things from other people's perspectives.
That's huge. For
Yeah.
building strong relationships and just being a better human.
It is. So as you go about your day, think about this. What's one small thing you can do to boost your emotional intelligence?
Like even a tiny step in the right direction.
Exactly. It's a journey, not a destination. Really.
Really?
Every step we take towards greater self-awareness, empathy, all of that, it can lead to a richer, more fulfilling life.
Well said. Thanks for taking this deep dive with me. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise. And to all our listeners, thanks for joining us.